All right, guys. What is this? Thursday. This is a different kind of format video. What I want to do today is review the results of my high grade PSA submission back in, I guess it was July. I submitted, I think it was 19 cards to PSA, a mix of 71 tops baseball, some 70 tops football, some 72 tops baseball. That I got across different places and different collections with the idea and the hope to get some high grade examples that would do well with the registry folk. So I got the results back yesterday, and I want to just review what that looks like. So let me share my screen here. So we're going to go through all the details here. So submitted here on the 11th, and then was checked into PSA on the 20th, and it kind of did its thing for a little bit, and then suddenly assembly, and then kind of quickly through assembly to QA2, and then just last night the grades popped. It was actually like early this morning or whatever it was. That is kind of how it went. Here are the results here. I'll go through I also have tabs open for all the PSA pages where we can see the scans. I can talk about the card. So you can see here the 71s didn't do as well as I had hoped. I was hoping for 8s, but this is kind of a lesson learned. I submitted probably the best condition card in the entire collection, which was the Steve Garvey to SGC, and it got an 8. Everything else I felt was lower than that, and of course, got lower. So this Banks here is nice. That's a nice grab with the 7. This Ted Simmons here, the 72, also came from that same collection at the 71s. Getting a 9 is very cool in that card. And then these two here, the Cotton Mazeroski I bought in Colorado. This Dave Grayson here, minimum size. When I get it back, I'm just going to measure it really, I'm going to measure it, see if it measures fine. And if it does, I'll probably just submit it back to PSA again. And if not, I'll probably just send it to Greg Morris. But I think the 70s did really well. 8s on the Zonka and Floyd Little, and then 9s on Cogdill, Charlie Smith, and Larry Hand. I got to check this Jerry Philbin here, and then Willie Brown, Hall of Famer, got another 8. So I'm going to stop sharing this, go back here, and then we're going to do a little bit of that. So here is the McGraw. You can see here the periphery is really nice. Does look like it's a little tilted in the holder. You can see like the relationship between the bottom left and the bottom right corner is like the bottom left corner is lower in the holder. So I think it just needs to be knocked around a little bit, but it is off center. I think if it were centered better, it probably would have gotten a better grade. Here's the back. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. The card just shifted in the holder. I'm going to check to see. Yep, I can just go right here. Here's the Clendenin, another 7. Again, another card with great periphery. I thought the centering here was much better than the McGraw. Here's the back. But just really sharp. But, a lesson learned with these. PSA doesn't mess around with grading these cards. Oh, well, sorry. Here's the I'm just having some technical stuff here. Here's the Clendenin. Apologies for that. Just give a quick overview front and back. Just really nice periphery. Here's the Ken Singleton. You can see here a little bit more corner touches, top right, bottom right. And then we'll go here into the George Scott. This one I was kind of surprised it got a 6. I really thought this card would deserve better. So if I decide to take a card back from PC Sports Cards, it might be this one to just crack it and try again. I mean, I don't know how that's a 6 and the others are 7s. If there's something I missed, I don't know. Okay, so the Harmon Killebrew unfortunately doesn't have a scan. We can go into the Boots Day here. This was the best no light variation. There's no light here behind his ear that was in the collection. I don't know. I figure it's probably a fair grade for this card. Here we go with the Ernie Banks. This is one of the better cards in the sub. You can see here there's like a clear touch to the top left and bottom left. But as compared to the other commons, I think this is more egregious. But I'm not complaining with the 7. It's a great grade for this card. Centering is on point. I think this is probably the best Banks in the lot, which is probably, I think, why I submitted it. I mean, I think there were like 7 Ernie Banks in the collection. So this was the best of the 7. Here's our Bill Mazeroski. Really, really nice periphery with this one. Especially those top corners are just really, really nice. Really, I don't know. I think I would want to, if I had the opportunity to look at this card again, I would want it. But, the centering top to bottom probably could be a little better as compared to the Banks, which I think had better centering. But the periphery on this one is really, really good. So that's that. Now here's the Ted Simmons. This card is really nice. I'm really happy with this result. You can see here toward his nameplate and toward the top here's a little bit of print defect. And maybe that held the card back from getting a 10. I don't know, obviously. But I knew this card had a really, really good shot at getting a high grade like this. Second year card of this Hall of Fame, new Hall of Famer. So I think this is probably the best card in the order. So extremely happy with this result. Here is the high number Jim Cott. I think this is also tilted in the holder. You can see there's a good amount of space down here and here. That bumper kind of overlaps the card. So it is not tilted. Yeah, I think this is an appropriate grade for the card. You can see the top left corner. It's probably a little softer than the rest. You can see here on the back, it's maybe a little easier to see how it's tilted in the holder, but would have loved the 9 with this card, but an 8's just fine. Here's the Maz. I think this is his last card. Another high number. Centering's not as good here as. Just gotta share the tab. Centering's not as good here as it is with the Jim Cott. But a solid grade for a card in this shape. The Larry Zonka unfortunately did not have a scan. I don't know why PSA can't just scan. Like if they're scanning something, they can't scan everything. I have no idea. So now we're going into football. This is the 70 Topps Floyd Little Hall of Famer. You can see that rough cut there on the top is pretty deep in there. You can even see it here on the back. Some of the ones I submitted didn't have a rough cut, which I'll point out when we kind of get there. But centering issue, a bit to the bottom left. Overall, a really fresh card. Let's go here to the first 9. This is just a really sharp Gail Cogdill. I knew when I saw this card that it had a really nice shot at a nice grade like this. So happy to be verified with that idea and that thought. This is a fun experiment. You can see here that the back is, that periphery is all orange. It will show, and I'll show you another example of, some damage on the back that can occur with these, but just really, really nice card. I think also it's a generally, so only 4 graded higher, not a ton. I mean, this is a common, but not a ton in the current population. Here's a Willie Brown, another Hall of Famer. I think the centering top to bottom is maybe a little off, better left to right, but periphery here is really nice. Back is super clean. So very happy with this grade, although I would have loved a 9. An 8 probably is around a $30 card. Here's another 9, Charlie Smith. Again, pretty perfect centering. You can see there on the bottom the rough cut. See it better here on the back. The edge is just a little more jagged as compared to the left and the right. Here's the Jerry Philbin. Not quite sure what happened with this card. I may request to have this card taken back and just get a better look at it, just for my own education. If I'm looking down here, if you can see my mouse cursor, if it shows up on the stream, I have no idea. But I can't zoom in on this, but there may be something down here. That's the only thing I can probably see, maybe an indentation. But, you win some, you lose some. This one I lost, which is fine. And then closing it out here with Larry Hand. This one is also really, really nice. It does appear also to be tilted in the holder. You can see here, though, on the back, that corner is missing that orange here. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I think this one was also really low population in 10. Only 3. So really, really cool. We'll stop sharing here. We'll go back. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. I thought the submission was really good, fun to do, and gives me kind of proof of concept for trying something like this again in the future. So let me know what you think again, and have a great one. Thanks.